Hello, I am your host, Tracy Lux, and with me is my sidekick or my partner in crime.
I'm DC, you know.
You know, one of them cool kids that
Yeah,
just from the other side of the block.
I'm the cool kid now. I was Elijah Wood in school. Trust me, I did not have any
Me
friends.
too. Or I guess I'd be more like Stokely, I guess. I'd
I
be
think
more
you would be
that.
more like Stokely,
Hmm.
but like I was not. No, no, I did.
Well,
I had zero friends until I turned 16. I had
oh,
zero friends.
are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yes. I until
Oh my God.
until Brandon discovered me in driver's ed, I had no friends.
Oh
Like
my
it
God.
was horrible. I mean, I had acquaintances in the Misfits and all that, and I had like, and then I had Susan and stuff like that. But like, I didn't have any friends, like people who hung out with me. It was always like, oh, we'll hang out with them in school, and then not invite him to
Outside
anything.
of school,
Yeah.
yeah, you've
So
never heard anything.
fun times, but that's what we're here for. Is just, we're talking
Yes,
about a nice little nice little
this
film
is
that our
a
little
very special
fans,
one.
yeah, our fans voted on. We
Hmm.
were, we got there, and we don't get 160 views on this, I'm gonna be very angry because we had 160
Yeah, because
votes,
we
so that
had a
means
lot of
160 people
votes,
should view this. But whatever, whatever.
especially the people that voted for this movie.
Yeah,
Because our winner, I mean, we've said this in the last episode, we were expecting The Shining, and just tagging behind it was Event Horizon.
yeah.
But we had The Faculty win. So, I mean, I'm super excited about it, which makes me happy because I mean, it's one of my favorite films. It's from
If I had a
basically
pecking order, this would have been last. Like
you you would have, yeah.
I wanted Event Horizon to win. If that didn't win, I wanted The Shining to win. If that didn't win, I wanted Texas Chainsaw Massacre to win. And then The Faculty won, and I'm like, fuck, because this is not one of my favorite movies. It's like this is the if John Hughes made a horror movie, that's what this, because this had so many John Hughes corny bullshit
Mhm,
stereotypes. Like,
mhm.
fuck. It's not a bad movie though. It's not my thing.
It's
But
not your cup of tea.
no, I need violence and not corny ass high school stories. Oh well. Did you love it? So
I absolutely adore this movie and love
yeah.
it. But this came out when, God, was I in junior high when this came out? Because it was 98. No,
Uh-huh.
I feel so old. Yeah, I think I was actually in grade school when this movie came out.
I was 15 when this came out. So yeah. So
Oh.
you are just a few years younger than
Hmm.
me. So yeah.
Hmm. Not by much.
Um, Michaela was 2 when this came out. My
Oh my
wife was two
God.
years old.
Oh my God.
She's so young.
Mm.
She's of
She
age
is.
now, I
She's
promise. She's 24, but no.
that tells
Um,
you how old this movie is, though,
yes.
too. So, I mean, it just turned like 20 something years old. So,
Yeah, I told you before we started that I have 3 rants for this movie.
mhm.
One bad, one is bad, but that I'll save that because that's the ending. Um, one that's funny, and one in all seriousness. I could watch this movie, and I've done it before. I can watch this movie and absolutely tear it apart. There are so many plot holes in this movie. The acting is incredible. That's one plus. The cast isn't phenomenal. It's another plus. But this movie is so shittily written, and it's written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream, and it's almost
Just
like he
2 years
wrote
prior to this one.
he wrote Scream Light for this movie. This is like, oh well, I'm gonna write Scream again, but I'm gonna make it sci-fi with aliens, and it's exactly what it is. It's just Scream, but I can absolutely rip this movie apart. When I watched it one time, I think I told you 57 things wrong with this film,
Mhm.
including the one that we pointed out whenever the Southern idiot, the one with a really bad Southern accent, like snorting the stuff, and
Mhm.
she snorts it, but at the end of the film it turns out that she used her little pinky to take the cap off and all the poured out the back side, but in the scene the cap stays on, like it's
Mhm.
on the fucking pin, and it's like, no, you ruined it. And then I have to digress because the director of this film is Robert Rodriguez.
Mhm.
Robert Rodriguez does not make Oscar winners. He makes films that you go to the theater to watch and have fun. And
Like Dawn of the Dead.
he just wants to entertain you. That is it. Desperado, not an award winner.
No, not Dawn of the Dead. Dusk Till Dawn. That's
Dusk Till
the one I'm
Dawn,
thinking
not an award winner. Machete, not an award winner. But every single one of those movies is phenomenal because it is so much fun. And that's one thing that the faculty has. It's fun. It keeps your attention. Well, there is a span where I was bored as hell, but like there's a little span, but it was like, this is a fun movie, and it really is. It's not that bad. I will tear it apart, but it's like
of.
at the end of the day, it's Robert Rodriguez, and Robert Rodriguez is amazing. So I love Robert Rodriguez. And this was after Desperado and From Dusk Till
Yes.
Dawn. So it's like, this was when he was a name, and he had made great movies. And then this movie just kind of fell flat for me because it's just like, okay, cool. You've got the John Hughes jock. You've got the jock with a heart of gold that just wants to be smart. You've got the goth girl that pretends to be something she's not. You've got the drug dealer bad boy who's repeating his senior year and drives into the parking lot like a madman. You've got the
Even
dork
though
that
he's
nobody
extremely
likes.
intelligent.
Yes, he's secretly a genius. And then you got the dork that nobody likes. I mean, the whole thing is the Breakfast Club. And in fact, the ending kind of mirrors the Breakfast Club. So, like, so I love the Breakfast Club. Don't get me wrong on that. I love the Breakfast Club, but I'm
You
not a
didn't
John
want a
Hughes.
modern day one?
Yes, I'm not a John Hughes fan because all of his movies are the same and they're all corny teenage crap. And I can't get into that. Like, I love that everyone else loves them. They're heartfelt movies. They're wonderfully written, wonderfully acted, but they are not for me. So like, I am not the target audience. But you are more the target audience for that. So, and you love the Faculty, and I love that you love the Faculty. So
Well, I love my ridiculous movies. And
yes.
let's face it, like most of those movies, like The Faculty, you brought up a couple other movies that were a lot like this genre from back then. And just something about the ridiculous movies that I always love. And now I'm to the point where it's like even the most imbecile, stupid, cheesy, corny, B-rated ones, like even from like Salem and that sci-fi usually puts on and produces.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like Two-Headed Shark, it's stupid. And I know it's stupid, but
Yeah.
I still enjoy it, which I can't see you enjoying that movie
Well,
because
there's
of the
a
fact that
difference.
it's made to be serious, but it's not, and it's
Well,
definitely not.
That's the difference in that Two-Headed Shark knows that it's a shit movie. So it plays.
So it's acceptable if it knows it's shit.
It plays into that, which makes it a good movie. And that's what makes The Faculty good, is because Robert Rodriguez read the script and was like, this is a shitty 50s B movie. So I'm going to lean heavily into that. And he did. He leaned into that hardcore. And he's like, I'm going to make a scene where everyone's standing on the football field, staring up, and the rain's falling on them with tentacles coming out of their face. And it makes me laugh. I'm like, that's funny. That is a funny scene. So, well.
There's a lot of those kind of scenes, though. And I mean, you open up, and we all know how you have a love obsession with a certain actor that's in this movie. That opens up with him as very angry and irate, and a coach that just throws things when he's not getting his way.
He uses the word queer a lot. Like,
unfortunately,
that did not age well.
There are a lot of things that did not technically age well with this movie.
The word dyke is used a couple times.
Hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a very
But
but
that was true to that
it's 90s.
time. That is
Yeah.
literally what we grew up with.
Yeah.
And obviously, my outfit that I wore today is homage to basically how I used to dress in like high school. Like if I was going out, obviously, I didn't walk around like this in high school as much as I wouldn't have cared. But
You dress like
going
my
out in
my
that.
wife dresses now.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like now, this is how I would probably go out now. Since I've lost all that weight in that, I could care less. I probably won't be going out this summer in a bathing suit and not care because last year sucked. So this year, I'm just going all out and not giving a damn. So,
Yeah.
but I kept trying to get you to say your actor's name. It's Robert
It's Robert
Patrick,
Patrick.
right?
Everyone knows. Everyone
Yeah.
on Twitter, everyone knows that I have
Your
an
love obsession for
obsession
Rob Patrick.
with Robert Patrick.
They
Like
even
when he favorited my Terminator 2 tweet, I like lost my shit.
Mhm.
I was like, oh my god.
We could get him for this one too, Robert Patrick. So they even gave him homage to when they brought his character into this, that they even asked him, like, hey, when you're playing this character, can you kind of do the robotic thing that you kind of had going in Terminator 2? And they even paid homage to the whole fact of like how he used to chase John Connor. He had similar chase scenes in this movie for the faculty as well.
With
So I kind
Fraser's
of like
wife.
that little. Yes, Fraser's wife.
Baby
As soon as you
Newirth.
said that, I wasn't gonna not see it anymore, and I'm like, oh my god, it is Fraser's wife.
Fraser's wife. It's Baby Newirth. I mean, there's people that pop John Stewart, and I'm like, because I was whenever we watch a movie together. I mean, we've seen these movies, so it's not like I'm ruining anything. I didn't do it as much during Army of the Dead because we hadn't seen it. For Army of the Dead, I kind of shut up and just watched the movie, and I've made some comments throughout, but it wasn't like I did with this movie. And it was like I would try to make funny little comments to make you laugh. And like whenever John Stewart showed up, I was like, "Hey guys, have you watched The Daily Show?" It was like, oh my god, John Stewart and Josh Hartnett's hair. Holy
oh my
balls.
gosh, it's so bad. But it's like when I think about when I first watched it, I'm like, how did I not notice that? But was that even a style back then, or did they just decide to do it? I mean, I guess.
But he's Josh Hartnett. He can get away with it. He's the man.
And you had even mentioned that this technically was his first movie, that this should have been the movie introducing him, but because H2O came out before this film, even though it was the first movie he had filmed, that it wasn't the one that got to introduce him. So
he filmed them simultaneously, and because of some reshoots, they had to redo some stuff for the faculty, and that one came out second, but it was actually filmed first, and then H2O came out. So H2O got the introducing Josh Hartnett, and but that's okay because H2O was a better movie. So whatever.
Yeah,
I liked H2O.
Well, come on, it's got Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah.
It's got Miss Poop Yogurt in it. I love Jamie Lee Curtis so much.
I was gonna say
striptease ever in True Lies. So beautiful.
She is one of my favorite actresses, and it's like I looked up to her and Sigourney Weaver growing up, and it's just like, oh man, if you don't love them, there's something wrong with you, especially if you love horror. It's like they are the people we look up to.
Yes.
Quite literally. So
well, yeah, because I was like looking up to Robert Patrick and Michael Biehn. Like Michael Biehn was my dude. And I love that guy. But I mean, dang, dude. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's just
it's not your movie.
It's something that Mystery Science Theater could easily do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even think it's really
surprised they haven't.
I don't think it's that cheesy. I just think it's corny. So like it's got just corny stuff. I mean, like corny lines and everything. And like, I mean, you can say it's an homage, like, but the scat snorting scene, that's clearly an homage to The Thing. The Femke Janssen's
with
head
the
with the
blood
tentacles
scene,
clearly that I mean,
homage
missed
to The
opportunity. missed opportunity for Josh Hartnett to get out of that car and say, "You've got to be fucking kidding." But
Should have been.
But they lost it. Oh well. But
yeah, when you had mentioned it and you brought it up, and it's like, yeah, the drug test scene is kind of like a weird homage to the blood test scene and The Thing. The fact that, it's kind of an isolated feeling in the fact that, when you're in high school, you feel isolated. You don't feel, and then the fact of who could be the next person that could be after you. Are they an alien? Is it a possibility they're an alien? I mean, everybody's strange and weird and foreign to you in high school anyway. So it did pay a lot of homage to it. Yeah.
It was Vin Diesel's sister.
God, you have that for like everyone. You're like Brazier's wife, Vin Diesel's sister.
Frodo Baggins. Jamie Lee Curtis's son. I was doing it through the whole fucking thing. I felt like an asshole, but everyone was linked to something. I'm like, oh yeah, the jock who played the rapist in SVU. I'm like, he played a rapist once. Like, God, they're in everything.
I think the only one that was fine and safe was Robert Patrick.
Yeah.
It's Robert Patrick.
He's the T-1000. And I kept saying, "Do you know this boy, John Connor?"
Yeah, you did have that. You did have that.
It was good, but I was like, but what I was telling you before though, this one thing is this is a pro drug movie. This is definitely, hey kids, do drugs. They'll save your life.
It could save your life. Or don't do the drugs. Just carry the drugs on you. It'll combat aliens.
How do we prove we're human? Let's do drugs. Like, yeah. Let's snort caffeine pills and some other household products.
Which they kind of proved that all they had to do was just dump it on them and that they technically would have died too. So I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, it was, yeah, it's so weird. It's a weird movie, but it's a fun one. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, they had the the ending, like the way they kill the baddie and all that, you have the least likely hero, which is, it's another horror movie trope, but and also Elijah Wood, the only one that looks like a high schooler here. Everyone else looks like they're in their 30s. It's just like, or no, they look like they're in their late 20s. Like the only one, and I said it before, the only one that was worse about that was Scream, because those people were playing high schoolers and they look like they were 30. And it's like this. And
they make, like I had told you, they make fun of that in Scary Movie, where they literally make fun of that trope. So. And
the other one that bothered me, Femke Janssen trying to get it on with Josh Hartnett. I was like, ooh.
And they end up together at the end.
Yes.
So,
I hate that. I hated that it's okay for the teacher to date the student. I hated that. I'm like, no, wait till he graduates. I'm like, he's already 18.
What was the joke I made? I'm like, he's 18.
Yeah. I'm like, so what? That's weird.
It's like, just wait till he graduates and he's out of school.
And in high school, none of my teachers looked like this. I didn't have a Selma Hayek hot teacher.
Yep.
I didn't have a Baby Newirth hot teacher. I didn't have a freaking Femke Janssen. If I had a Femke Janssen, I wouldn't have made it out of high school. I would have been
kept failing.
I would have been like I would have had to have 21. A book in front of my crotch all day. Because Femke Janssen's hot. But I mean, shit. But no, I hated that ending. I hated it. I hated the message it sent. Not the ending of the kill, the coda, the 1 month later. I hated it. Everyone's like, oh, everybody ended up together. It's like, I fucking hated it, because you have the bad boy drug dealer who's now part of the football team. And it's like, oh, all he needed was football and he's going to be okay. Like, no, he's a drug dealer. Everything. He's a bad boy. You have the jock who's suddenly on the honor roll. And it's like, oh man, the jock, all he needed was to study and he's going to be okay. No.
Stokely suddenly wasn't a goth anymore. Just because
that was the one that pissed me off the most.
I'm like, what?
All she needed to do was get rid of the dark makeup, dark hair, and get a boyfriend, and suddenly she's cool. She's Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club. Like, no, fuck no, no. If you're goth, be goth, be yourself. And then you have the nerd who's suddenly popular because he did something. And then the worst of the worst is the popular girl that's now dating the nerd because he's popular. It's like she won't date him before that because she's a piece of shit. No, she'll date him when he's popular. Fuck that. No, that
And well
reminded me
known and
too
reporters
much of high school.
everywhere.
Yeah. And it's like none of this would happen. None of it. The popular girl would never date the nerd like that. It would never happen. The goth girl would never change her ways and dye her hair blonde. It would never happen. The jock would never get an A in a class and be like, no, I deserved that D. Like, no. The drug dealer would never join the football team. No, fuck you. They should have ended it when Elijah Wood killed the alien. Credits roll. They did not have to have that coda, and it ruined the movie for me. No.
Too much like The Breakfast Club for you.
I mean, all we had to do, if we just would have had Josh Hartnett's character smoking that cigarette, they're still saying, oh, he's still a rebel. He's still a rebel because he's smoking in between plays. It's like, okay, yeah, but he's still on the football team. And if they just would have had him, they're like, all right, guys, shower time, had him take off his helmet, walk away, and it would have been perfect. It would have been perfect. And then just play Don't You Forget About Me and move on.
Like, and basically literally making fun of it. And
yes.
Yeah.
And they open the movie with The Offspring because it's like they're playing God, that really good song they have from Americana. Yeah, the kids aren't all the kids. I don't know what the fuck, I forget what the song's called. But they played it, and it's like it's perfect because they're like, oh, this definitely takes place in the 90s because we've got The Offspring. And it's like, all right, cool. That's how Idle Hands is. Idle Hands is like, yeah, we're gonna play 90s music, so you know that we're
this is the 90s.
So, like that part was cool. The soundtrack was awesome. So you had The Offspring,
which you even made the joke. You're like, all we need now is like some Creed, and then like the following song sounded like Creed, which I don't think it was Creed, but it sounded like Creed.
What was this? I will find out if that was. It should have been soundtrack. Arms Wide Open because that was the 90s with arms wide open. And he's like got a shirt and the wind, and he's like with arms wide open. Classic. I love that.
Classic Creed.
Classic, but I love Creed. I don't know. I can't stand Creed. I can't.
Can most people? I think there's like a couple of songs, but
Creed was on the soundtrack.
Not a big Creed. Oh, so it was Creed then.
Creed, I'm 18 was the name of it. We listen. Okay, are you guys ready for some 90s action? Are you ready for this? Another Brick in the Wall by Tom Morello and Lane Staley, which is the only song they did together. We discussed that, but that's not what we'll do. Okay, from here on, The Offspring, Creed, Soul Asylum, Garbage, Stabbing Westward, Sheryl Crow, Oasis.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This is the 90s. Holy crap, this is nuts. I love it.
Brings back all those memories.
Yeah. Definitely. And you do get a really cool version of Another Brick in the Wall featuring the wonderful Lane Staley singing, which Lane Staley, for those of you who are not musically inclined, is the lead singer of Alice in Chains, who is my end all be all. But yeah, that's a good one. Stabbing Westward. Man.
Yeah. Yeah. God, now that you say that, how long ago did they break up? So
Lord. Yeah, but I mean I wouldn't go out and buy this soundtrack, but whatever. You ruined me with Sheryl Crow.
it ruined the whole thing just with Sarah. Her. Yeah.
I wanna soak up the sun.
No. Kill that.
I don't do pop. Sorry.
No, get rid of it.
Yes. Sheryl Crow was Taylor Swift before Taylor Swift was Taylor Swift.
That is true. That is very true.
Also, she had sex with Kid Rock, which is weird.
And they did that song together. That song I couldn't stand.
They did
I don't like that song.
No. I put your picture away. awful.
Yeah, I don't like
I'm
that
sure. I'm sure if
song.
Sarah's watching, she has seen now because I had a little conversation with her about whenever I'm doing a show, I'm always doing something with my hands off camera. But now it's been on camera 3 or 4 times. But I have a knife. I'm over here twirling a knife, and yeah. We were talking about how she always is ruffling papers or something off like with her hands because she can't not. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the same way. I have to be doing something with my hands. So
Sometimes I'll hear you like thump on things for your desk and that kind of stuff. So
I have an issue. Like I'm so fidgety that I have to be doing so. I used to have like 9 fidget cubes.
Oh my God. That's a lot of fidgets,
Yeah,
Gene.
dude. I
God.
think I still have some in the bedroom, and like I had like a fidget spinner, and I was like before they were cool, and I'm like I don't like this thing anymore because all it was a skateboard ball bearing
Mhm.
like thing in the middle, and it was so dumb, and I was like, "Ah, yeah."
And they got weirdly popular for like, what was it, like 5 years ago? And like everybody had one.
They entered into
I didn't
porn.
though.
Like they entered into porn. There was fidget spinner porn, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Now you can get them for 99 cents. I paid
Yeah,
$5.99 for mine.
I never got one. So
Yeah. I'm one of those guys who's got to be cool with the trends, you know. And I had to do all the tricks, spin it and keep it on my finger, like, whoa, look at me, I'm awesome. And then I like spun it and tried to put it on. Never mind. But
my version of a
faculty.
fidget spinner was that stupid bird that you could balance on your finger.
Oh,
That was my version. That was from the 90s. Uh-huh. That was from the 90s.
that is.
Anyway, back to the faculty.
Well, I mean, you have to have some gripe about this movie. You cannot possibly think this movie was perfect.
Well, no, I obviously don't think it's perfect, but once again, you look who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I love the ridiculous movies, and I love the fact that this movie pays homage to so many things.
It
Like
does.
besides obviously the Thing, you have Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, it's a rip off of Invasion of the Body
Yeah,
Snatchers.
I mean there are elements of Scream, but for obvious reasons because
Yeah.
the writer of Scream is the writer of this.
Kevin
Uh,
Williamson. Shout out to Kevin Williamson. He's
you
good. He's a
have
good writer.
homage. Very true. And obviously, since you threw me under the bus, and now everybody knows I haven't seen The Shining, but I've found out and have heard that there's several scenes in there that pay homage to The Shining as well, and several other movies that are just kind of included with this one.
Yeah.
And it's not meant to be a serious movie because it just kind of wanted to pay homage to its love of this genre of sci-fi horror films. Oh, Alien obviously was another one.
Yeah.
So
When did you become Sigourney Weaver?
yeah.
But
And no, it's not perfect, and obviously, but I don't gripe about it because it's one of my favorites.
it's a fun movie. It's entertaining. I
Mhm.
mean, I can't sit here and say, I'll be honest, I downloaded it because I'm not paying money for it. But like, it's like it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not the target audience. And the funniest thing about this whole thing that I just keep laughing about is that even if we wouldn't have put the faculty into the survey, it would have been the week after next movie because it's your
I will
fifth favorite.
replace it with my other favorite one then. So
I just find it funny. Like it's like I love that. I'm like, dude, one of her favorites got chosen, and it's not like T Carter, our homeboy.
Mhm.
He voted on it because he was like, dude, no one talks about this movie, and he is
Mm-mm.
100% correct because
Mhm.
this movie was the three of clubs, man. This got lost in the shuffle. Like
Mm.
this came out at a time when Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Yeah.
these teen movies were coming out. I think, man, even Urban Legends was around this time.
Yes.
And it also
Urban
came out
Legends
on
came out the
Christmas
same time.
Day, which they released this on Christmas Day. So
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, you're going to get lost in the shuffle, dude. And it actually was not a big hit, and it does not have a cult following. It's just a movie that exists that just so happens to be pretty good. You know, it's kind of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Not a lot of people know that movie exists, but it's really good. So you should watch it.
That's an excellent one. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that one, you definitely need to see that one. That one could be a future watch that we have anyways.
And you should see A Quiet Place too, because it was really good.
Stop rubbing it in my face.
Yeah, man, that was so fucking. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it's still very good.
Still good.
Yes, it's a different movie. So A Quiet Place 2 is not the isolated on the farm thing that Quiet Place 1 was. It's very open, which makes it even more awesome. Plus, I got a man crush on Cillian Murphy. So yeah, he's super awesome. I'm like, oh my God, there's Cillian Murphy. I'm looking over, making sure my wife ain't seeing me fan myself whenever he's on the screen. Whoo. And
maybe she'd be excited for that. I
don't know. It was beautiful, but it definitely wasn't The Faculty. So The Faculty was cool, but life lessons on this one. This one was a hard one to come up with something. You came up with something and I came up with something. We just decided to kind of combine
that we can combine them.
Yes, because mine actually runs head to head with yours. So, but I want you to do yours first because yours was. Yeah, I like hearing stories of young high school Charcy.
I kind of wanted you to start, but okay.
You don't. Okay, well, is yours at all happy? Because mine's depressing.
Okay, we'll end with my happy then.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, because mine's kind of depressing. It's as I said, I was a loser and all that. Now, the popular people hated me, absolutely hated me. And I'm going to tell you how my school life went with one story. Just one story will completely tell you everything you need to know about me and why I hate people, why I hate teachers, and I am a teacher. But like, why I hated.
How did that even happen?
Because I wanted to be what I didn't have. I didn't have a good teacher. I had
and shit. I appreciate that.
And I'll say it right now, fuck Powell High School, fuck Powell Middle School, because it's the worst fucking school in Knoxville. So here's what happened. All right. So I'm in the cafeteria and I'm sitting down eating my lunch, and a popular girl comes around and she's like, "You're in my seat." Apparently there's assigned seating that I didn't know about, to which I said, "Well, let me finish and I'll get up." To which she hit me in the back of the head. And I was like, not going to do anything. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me finish. And she threw my food on the ground and picked me up and pushed me. And I said, "Bitch, what's your problem?" My exact words, "Bitch, what's your problem?" And we both got sent to the principal's office. Both of us trudging up there. I got suspended. She got nothing. She laid her hands on me and I got nothing, but I got suspended for calling her a bitch. And she even admitted it. She said, "Yeah, I hit him so he'd move." And it was so, "Oh, okay. Yeah, you're suspended. Oh, you go back onto class." Because the popular people get everything. The jocks get everything. And the way I link this back to The Faculty is the opening scene whenever she says, "We don't have money for anything in this school. So there's no musical this year. We're cutting all the arts. But the football team can have whatever they want. They get new jerseys, new jock straps. They can have anything they want." And that is how life fucking is. That's how my school life was. The jocks got everything and the preppy little bitches got everything, while the nerds and the dorks got fucking nothing. And I was suspended so many times when I should not have been suspended. When I got suspended for knocking out a popular guy after he hit a girl and didn't get anything. It's like, wow, because he was popular. And the popular people, they can't do that because their mommies and daddies will start a fight. It's like, fuck this. There's a reason
their
why
mommies and daddies have the money.
Yeah, there's a reason why I dropped out of school when I was 16. I dropped out of high school when I was 16. I never went to school anyway. I showed up, I think my freshman year, I think I showed up something like 23 days. That's all I did. I just never showed up to school because I was like, fuck this place. And it fucking sucked. But And then I get out of high school, 16 years old. I go get my GED at 16. I'm like one of only 3 people who have ever done that in Knoxville. And they don't even do that anymore. You have to be 18 to get your GED now. Got my GED at 16, moved on to college, and got a 4.0 honor society in college. I had a 2.3 in high school, 4.0 in college because.
And you probably loved college.
Yes, because the teachers cared and did not care if you were popular, because the schools I went to didn't have football teams. They didn't have, and the popular girls, I still wasn't popular. I mean, I'm kind of still a dork in college. All these people on Twitter and everything, oh man, I bet you got so many girls. No, hell no. I am a dork. Like, I am such a nerd. As soon as you spend more than 20 minutes with me, you're wanting to run the other direction. You, of course, are an anomaly, and for some reason you stick around. I don't know why. I don't get it. But
because I'm weird.
You are very weird. And you send me wife texts.
I don't. I told you I was going to tell you when I was coming home from work today, so you'd have a heads up.
I got a wife text from you, and I'm like,
he's not a wife text.
So I was like,
then you said me, you're like, don't take away my joy. Okay.
Don't take away my joy. And someone, I put it on Twitter, and someone was like,
oh no.
She laughed about it. And I said, a man can dream, can he? People know I'm your simp. I'm your only simp.
Oh, you are not my only simp.
We won't go into
now
that.
And now that I know about all these simps, I'm like, oh no.
We won't go into your simps, because
No,
I'm that one simp that I'm like, hey,
you're my only acceptable simp.
I like being an acceptable simp, because it's just the best, because I'm the simp that's friends with the husband. So take that, other simps. Yeah, I win.
I hide out with my friends on Twitter. That's it's like, I just want to hang out with my friends. I don't need, but anyway, so, and I lied. I guess my underdog story, because our life theme to go with the faculty, of course, was the fact of being the outcasts and the underdogs and
shit teachers.
And having horrible teachers. Yeah. And I had very similar experiences like what you did at school, because at my school, it was who you knew, if your family was rich, and like you said, if they were popular, you could do whatever you wanted.
Exactly.
I think my saving grace was the fact that
you're gorgeous.
I was
simp.
If I look back on my pictures, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I was a cute kid.
I've seen it.
I never thought I was, because of where I grew up. And
you would be that girl that I would not talk to, because I'd be too afraid to talk to. I've seen your high school pictures. I would not have asked you out, because I would have been that little bitch in the corner, like sweaty palms, like, oh, she's gonna say no. I would have done that. And you've seen me in high school.
I'm such a shy, timid kid. So
yes. You've seen me in high school, and I was Josh Hartnett. I was that little bitch bad boy. Heart of gold. Bitch bad. So, but,
that was my type in high school.
Ugh.
But so just to put obviously in the context of like what kind of like school I was in and that, and even like my group of friends that I had were always competing, and it just was very volatile, if you probably the best way to put it. But not only did you have to deal with the weird jealousy from like the popular girls, and my friends and them always fought with them, because for some odd reason the popular girls were still in FFA. If you don't know what that is, it's basically Future Farmers of America. And
we don't have it here, but I know what it is.
Yeah. Somehow the popular girls would still be in that as well. So then you had my group of friends and the popular girls, and they would pick on my friends like all the time. And the fact that they'd be like, to the point where they'd even trip girls and that kind of stuff and throw things at people. And it just was ridiculous. Well, then you had me and my best friend. So besides all our other friends in that, it kind of was just me and my close best friend, the one that I have mentioned before, the one that used to be a cutter. We were the gothic ones. And so I would just be listening to metal and off in my own world. And because I was shy, was not the personality that I am now. Like I didn't talk to anybody. And unless you were a friend, then of course I would talk to you. But I had this one time where this one group of girls, I don't know why they had it out for me. There's three of them, and just completely mean and irate with me. And to this day, I can't tell you why they were ever that way to me. That
Bitches.
bitches. And they were so blatantly mean to me that I had a gym class with them. And for whatever reason, that's how our gym teachers would decide to set things up. Me and one of my friends had to play badminton against the two girls that were my bullies. And they just thought that they were being real funny, and they would take the badminton, like take the actual racks, and would just hit me in the back of the head with it. And it's like, are you fucking serious? Like, what am I doing that you think you got to hit me with this? But
Turn it
I
sideways.
get even. And I get even with them. And it's like, if I get the badminton and I knew how to hit it, I would smack them right in the face with it. So I at least could
The
defend
little
myself in
thing,
a little bit of way.
the little thing with the rubber
The
thing on the end.
birdie, the birdie.
It's called a shuttlecock.
Yeah, shuttlecock. I hit him in the face with a cock then. How about that?
Yes. That's what I was getting. That's what I was getting into. Yes.
And my ultimate revenge, it was exactly when because me and my couple of my girlfriends would play with my brother and his friends who were 2 years, 3 years older than us. We played street hockey with them. So I would get my ultimate revenge when we would have the gym class and we'd play hockey. And they thought that they'd be funny and get me with a stick or get my friend, and thought they were going to trip her. And we play with guys that were all like 6 foot or taller. So let's just say that they had a few welts on their body from a misplaced puck going the wrong direction. So
Those things do not feel good.
no. And my favorite story, I guess, that I can end with it would have definitely been the one day that the one girl decided that we were coming down the hallway and I could see all three of them. And I was just walking. I was by myself. I didn't even have anyone with me. And I'm thinking, oh, good. My three bullies that absolutely hate and despise me for whatever fuck off reason. And were coming towards me. So I'm just off on the one side. I'm on the right side. They're towards my left. Well, the one decides she's going to be funny, and she moves herself so that she's walking directly towards me, like playing chicken. And it's like, okay, so you blatantly moved over into my area. And she's just staring me down. And I'm like, you know what? I've had enough of this. So she came up to me, and she has to weigh like half my weight. So I think that's why I was the most pissed, where it's like, does she just think she's going to intimidate me? I clotheslined her. And when the teachers came out to see what had happened, it's like they turned and looked, saw her on the ground, and then saw me walking away. And they just kind of shrugged their shoulders, and they're just like, eh. So, I mean, she was basically known as a bully. So even the teachers were like, oh, well, she probably deserved it. So
I didn't get that. That's not what happened. Like they were known as bullies, but they still got the special treatment. So
I think I was lucky because I was a girl, and also like what you said, I was a cute girl. Looking back at my pictures, I can safely say I was a cute girl back then.
Well, I was mouthy, so the teachers hated me because I was very mouthy. Like
I should have been mouthy.
I'm still a smart ass, and I was a smart ass then, and I'm a smart ass now. And yeah, I was not well liked by the teachers. I was not well liked by really anybody. So that's just the way it was. I didn't care. It was like I had Brandon. That's the only friend I needed.
Mm.
Like it was me and Brandon the whole time. Like, and
And
that's
you
all.
still have Brandon.
Yes, yeah, still
Brandon's a
do.
good
He still
dude.
hangs around. He's still, you know,
Mhm.
around here. I still go see him play hockey all the time and stuff like that. He's still around there. He's good friends with my wife and everything like that. Yeah. Good stuff, man. I had some good things come out of it, but I never got revenge on anybody ever because I just
Except the one girl with the cooking thing.
that was not a bully or anything. That was just a popular girl, and I had a crush on her, and she was actually very nice to me up until that point. And then at that point, she was mean, but it was like she was beyond that. She was very nice. And the one thing is, I had some acquaintances on the football team that were really cool to me, and like they were really, so the football players never messed with me. It was the popular girls that messed with me, which is very strange.
Very weird. Because usually
Yeah.
girls mess with girls,
Yeah.
not guys.
Yeah, and it's like, well, over here, like it was like, oh, the guys can't touch us or they get in trouble, so we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And so so they would pick on the nerdy boys. And like I'm 6 foot tall now. When I was 16, I was like 5'6". I didn't.
You had a late growth spurt.
Yes, I had a very late growth spurt. I did not hit 6 foot until I got out of high school, and it happened very quickly, like very, very, very quickly. So Brandon was the same way. He was a little guy, and now he's, I don't know, like 5'9", 5'10". So it's like he's like up to there on me. But
His average height, yeah.
yes, and so it was like we were just late bloomers and stuff. But it was, I mean, that was probably a part of the reason. And like my voice was kind of high pitched and everything like that. And then like now,
Definitely not high pitched now.
No, now I've got the deep voice and the southern accent. And the southern accent, like while it works on Twitter very well, it did not work because everyone has a southern accent here. It's like there are people like, oh, okay, southern accent, whatever. And it's like, yeah. So there for a while, I spent years getting rid of my southern accent, and I didn't have a southern accent when I was in my 20s. Like I talked just kind of normal cadence, normal accent, and it was like, but then I just kind of embraced it, and I was like, okay, I got a southern accent, I'm just gonna go for it. And yeah, so like high school was not my favorite thing in the world. Neither was middle school. Elementary school was the bomb. But like
I hated all of it until I hit college.
I'm fine in college.
All of it.
Everybody likes me in college. The teachers adore me in college. So, but
And now you're a college teacher.
now I teach in college. So it's like, but it's, yeah, I'm like, and I'll tell you what though, Browsers lied to me because there ain't no girls being like, I need a better grade. You know, it's not like that. That never happens. And they're always
wasn't like that in
hey,
high school either.
no, like where was my Femke Jansen? You know?
Yeah, right.
And then you see all these like things like, oh, teacher is arrested for sleeping with a student. And she's always hot as hell. I'm like, what the?
Where was she from?
And then I'm sitting here like, why would you turn her in, dude? Like that's like I'd be hitting that like, nah, dude. Hell no. Who told on them? Like, dude, that's one of those high five.
Bystander. That was a bystander that turned him in.
Yeah, that's high five moments, man. Like, oh, you sleeping with that hot teacher? High five. You know, it's double standards though, because you know you got if the male professor is sleeping with the female student, it's completely different. It's just like, ew, I can't believe you would do that. And it's like, no, man, if you're getting laid, you're getting laid. High five. As long as you're of age, as long as it's consent and you're of age, high five, dude. I do it all. Yeah, it's fine. I don't have that.
Unfortunately, that's not always the case with those scenarios.
No, and I don't, but I don't have any students like, hey, what's up? Because I mean, my students call me by my first name. So, because I'm like, I swear, if you call me Mr. my last name, I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't call me Professor my last name. I don't want to be known as that, and it doesn't start with a C. So there is not a C in my name. Like it was like, oh, what's
not to be confused with DC, death curse.
Oh man, it's like my initials. I've got the worst initials you could have for a high schooler. I've got DP. So they're like, DP, oh, double penetration. Like, okay, whatever.
I'm not giving mine away.
I'm Donkey Puncharelli, man. They call me Donkey Puncher.
Donkey
Puncharelli.
Punch. There's a movie we could do.
No, it was like I didn't have that. No, it's like I have DPL, so it's like, geez, I do
You're
have
giving away hints.
No, I'm fine with that. Like they should die. You ain't gonna guess my name. I mean, no way.
No.
Like I have 3 first names. There's no way you can guess my name. Like, come on, man. And it's like the 3 most average name. Well, my first name is definitely not average. But I mean, and every one of the teachers in school called me Mr. my last name, or they would call me by my last name. And I'm like, that's not my first name. They're like, oh, well, I thought it was because it's a first name. And I'm like, no, call me by my, and then they would call me something completely. They would call me Daryl or something. And I'm like, I can't fucking win.
Like, are you doing this on purpose? Like,
doing this
seriously?
to piss me off.
Being dickheads, that's what that was.
It does not get my seal of approval. It's a seal. It's cute. Look at him. Wait, let's go this way. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. He's adorable. That's cute. I sleep with this thing. I'm just cute.
I can picture that.
Yeah. I shaved it up.
Look. In your pocket. He fits in your pocket over here.
Look at this. Look what I did. I did this because I'm going back to your favorite. I'm going back to the Billy Butcher. Yeah.
Oh, doing Carl Urban. I am not ready for The Boys when they come out because we have Jensen Ackles being added in there, and I'm like, oh no, 2 celebrity crushes in the same show. I'm gonna die.
I've read the comic books, and I really hope that they go.
They keep his character the same
because he was Homelander's sex slave.
Mm-hmm. We know that it's not going that way though, because they flat out said that the comics and the show are now separate because they don't end the same. I mean, there's already huge differences. Obviously, I'm not going to give it away. No spoilers for that.
Well, I mean, they did
obviously for The Faculty we did spoilers, but I'm sorry if you haven't seen a movie from '98. And this was the #1 voted. So I am not alone in loving this movie. So
yes. And like, if you haven't, this is like someone, I said something about Psycho. I gave away the ending of Psycho on Twitter. And they're like, oh, dude, fucking spoilers. And I'm like, motherfucker, that came out in 1968.
How old
if you
is
haven't
that movie?
seen that yet, there's something wrong with you.
That's on you.
Come on,
like, I can understand if you get mad at us if we give some spoilers away in like Army of the Dead. It's like
I was only 2 days old. Like, no, dude, come on. But the next one, very important. We've been keeping this secret, tweaking my nipples while I think about it, because this is a very special episode. Because this episode is going to be dedicated
celebrating
a
very special thing,
and to one of our favorite people on this planet Earth. We are, and it's someone that you all know. It's someone we all love. One of the
sweetest, most beautiful people on this planet too.
Inside and out, amazing human being. And I want you to tell people whose birthday it is next Sunday.
Next Sunday's birthday is Darcy the Mail Girl's birthday. So in celebration and tribute to her, we want our next movie to be her favorite horror movie. We are doing Scream, which kind of goes in perfect alignment with The Faculty then. So,
yes.
But yeah, we want to celebrate Darcy's birthday with Scream. And should we give away the other surprise?
Oh, go for it, because people are going to want to know. You go for it.
Well, maybe we might be cosplaying a certain couple people from the drive-in. I don't know. You might have to come watch the episode and see what we do. So
may or may not see me in a cowboy hat.
There might have been a hint of it on his Twitter here not too long ago too. So
and weirdly, a person like hit it. I was like, oh shit.
Oh my God. He nailed it right on the head. Michael, Bat
Yes,
Quinn. He
our boy,
nailed
yes.
it right on
Yes,
the
our
head. And
boy.
I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah. Yes.
So
He's one of our fans, man. He's
mhm,
always up in our Twitter and stuff like that. Michael, I think it's I don't I'm going to butcher his last name and I'm going to feel really bad, but I think it's Roche.
I
Um,
think so. And he
but
just
good dude.
celebrated his birthday not too long ago too.
Yes.
So
Good
shout out.
dude. Good dude. Really good dude. And he nailed it. It was like Country
He
Western Store.
nailed it.
He said, I think this is where Joe Bob gets his
His
gets his
boots.
boots. And I'm like,
I started laughing. I'm
oh
like,
shit. And I was
oh, that's awesome,
and then
Michael.
I said, well, oh, I kind of hung out in the hat section. I was like, great. But yes, we're gonna be dressing up as possibly. It's gonna be very hard for me to
Possibly.
do this. So
I'm
but
excited for it. I can't wait to see you in a bolo.
and we're watching a movie that I actually adore. Like I
Mm.
love Scream.
I love Scream. I love Scream too.
Scream to me is more important than many of the classics.
Mhm.
I may get flamed hard for this, but I do believe it's more important than Nightmare on Elm Street. So that I don't think it's more important than Halloween or Friday the 13th, stuff like that, because those were the ones that really pushed the 80s slasher genre. But in modern times, Scream is the single most important horror movie in the genre because it breathed life back into the genre, and we would not have.
We should save this for that episode, DC.
It's fine. Oh,
No,
I'll reiterate.
save it for that episode.
I'll reiterate. But it's very important that we watch Scream because it's it's a very important movie. So yes, love it. And Drew Barrymore is hot. So
yes, another person beautiful inside and out.
love her. I loves her so much.
So, I guess with all the excitement of the announcement of our next film and what we will be doing. So our next episode will be Scream, and in celebration of Darcy's birthday. And on top of that, thank you for joining us. Thank you for voting and participating in our survey. Hope to see you all here commenting. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Also, you know, we like chatting with our fam here. I mean, we all love horror movies, and also remember, opinions are opinions. So let's not bicker. So
That was just the weirdest shit I've ever gotten. It's just a random DM. Why did you go see that? A Quiet Place One sucked. I'm like, to you, I fucking loved it. Anyway.
Anywho, thank you for joining us here on the Little Channel of Horrors. And once again, enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you for joining us.
Hey, bye bye.